Vegeta's mind has been in turmoil for the past 2 weeks. His beloved wife Bulma has recently started acting strange and evasive. Her usually candid behavior had dissipated, leaving Vegeta with a sickening intuition that something was not right. All passwords were based on their children's birthdays, which they've always shared between them. Vegeta was confident that nothing would be concealed from him. Yet he was dumbfounded when he discovered that Bulma had created a clandestine Instagram account under the moniker Hot Mama Bully B. The account had no posts, raising Vegeta's suspicion. Why would Bulma, a prolific poster, create an account without sharing any content? His emotions were manically fluctuating between rage and sadness. Still, Vegeta attempted to suppress his qualms and convince himself that his wife's Instagram account was harmless. However, his intuition forbade him from ignoring the warning signs. With trembling fingers, Vegeta gathered the courage to check the Instagram messages, and his worst fears manifested. His heart shattered as he uncovered a dozen messages between his wife and another man who called himself the Professor. Vegeta was skeptical and suspicious as he read through the messages between his wife and some mysterious professor. Though not overtly incriminating, they were enough to set Vegeta on edge and begin a covert investigation. With growing apprehension, he read the last message that sealed his fears. "Does your husband know what's going on?" the professor asked Bulma. Bulma replied, "No, he is clueless, as usual." "Perfect, 10 o'clock tomorrow. See you then." Vegeta's heart raced as the idea of his wife being involved in some secret activity with another man consumed him. Though it was possible that the pair were working on something harmless and science-related, he had to be sure. Thus he decided to follow his wife to the rendezvous point, hoping that his fears would remain unfounded, yet bracing himself for the worst. Vegeta was determined to get to the bottom of things and began following his wife's car, hovering high above her to avoid detection. As they reached a quiet suburb, the car came to a stop outside a residential property. Bulma disembarked from the car, and as the door to the house opened, out popped the mysterious professor from the messages. Vegeta had initially planned to bide his time and gather more information before taking any action. However, as he saw the professor embrace Bulma and watched her give him a peck on the cheek, the Saiyan Prince was consumed with rage. "Not my Bulma," he howled as he flew down with lightning speed to confront the man. Bulma heard her husband's furious outburst ringing from up above and called out, "Honey, it's not what you think." Unfortunately, her voice was drowned out by Vegeta's rage and seething anger. As he entered the professor's laboratory, he shouted out, "You're a dead man," with enough force to awaken the professor's children. Suddenly, a brightly colored blur knocked Vegeta from his feet. He quickly regained his footing, realizing he had awakened the professor's protectors. The Powerpuff Girls, Bubbles, Blossom, and Buttercup were ready to do battle with the Saiyan warrior who had dared to threaten the beloved professor.
Suddenly, a brightly colored blur knocked Vegeta from his feet. He quickly regained his footing, realizing he had awakened the professor's protectors, the Powerpuff Girls. Bubbles, Blossom, and Buttercup were ready to do battle. The enraged Vegeta ignored the professor's attempts to explain. The battle was about to begin. Vegeta could no longer contain his fury as he was confronted by the Powerpuff Girls and their mentor, the professor. With a fierce look in his eyes, he unleashed a devastating ki blast aimed straight at Blossom, sending her flying back, her petite frame no match for the sheer force of his attack. "I have no desire to fight a bunch of pint-sized brats," Vegeta roared, a sneer spreading across his face as he turned his attention back to the girls. But as soon as he finished his sentence, Buttercup and Bubbles sprang into action, their movements so swift that they appeared as mere blurs in the air. With sheer precision, they swept his legs out from under him, turning him head over heels. A sharp thud echoed through the air as his head landed on the ground, but Vegeta wasted no time, leaping back to his feet and engaging in a frenzied exchange of lightning-fast blows with the girls. As the battle raged on, Vegeta began to realize that his opponents were not to be underestimated. "How can this be?" he thought, his thoughts racing as he struggled to keep up with their movements. "These toddlers are too much for my base form. I'll have to take it to Super Saiyan. With a resounding yell, Vegeta's energy began to surge, his entire body flickering as he transformed into his Super Saiyan form. Blossom nearly smirked in response, her confidence unshaken. "It's about time," she remarked, with a hint of amusement. We were getting bored. The intensity of the battle continued to escalate until the professor finally sensed that it was about to spiral out of control. With a swift motion, he activated the portal, whisking the combatants away to a pocket dimension where they could unleash their full power without causing collateral damage. But the fighters were so engrossed in their battle, so consumed by their desire to defeat their opponent, that they were completely oblivious to the transition. Vegeta began to rapidly fire a ki blast in the direction of the pint-sized Powerpuff Girls. The girls moved with lightning-fast reflexes, effortlessly dodging each attack. They laughed and giggled as if they were simply having the time of their lives. In a fit of violent rage, Vegeta managed to land a devastating punch on Buttercup's tiny frame. Blossom and Bubbles quickly retaliated, attacking with a viciousness that the Saiyan Prince had never before experienced. As they unleashed a flurry of blows on him, Buttercup regained her composure and flew at lightning speed towards Vegeta, ramming her head into his abdomen. The force of the blow was enough to bring the Saiyan Prince to his knees in agony. "Had enough, old man?" Blossom asked, her voice cool and collected. Stunned with the pain, Vegeta was unable to respond immediately. But before he could even gather his senses, but cut in with a taunt of her own. "I guess so," she snickered, turning to walk away with her sisters. But then, a spark of blue light caught the girl's attention, followed by the sound of Vegeta's voice. "Not so fast," he growled, the veins on his forehead bulging with fury. Vegeta had now accessed the power of Super Saiyan Blue, and the intensity of the battle suddenly increased tenfold. Seemingly invincible, he threw the girls around like mere rag dolls, overpowering them with ease. But just as he was about to deliver a finishing blow, looked up at him with pleading eyes and uttered a heart-wrenched plea. "Please don't hurt us, mister," she whimpered. "We're just kids." Vegeta was suddenly hit with a wave of compassion, his thoughts turning towards his own children. Ashamed of his earlier behavior, he said with a solemn tone, "I won't hurt you, little ones." He turned to leave, intent on ending the battle. But before he could even take a step, he felt a sudden surge of violent energy explode within his vicinity. The combined eye laser of the Powerpuff Girls was enough to badly injure Vegeta. His defenses totally down in that fraction of a second. Vegeta lay on the ground, writhing in pain from the blast. Satisfied that they had won the battle, the Powerpuff Girls began to celebrate with their victory. Little did they know the battle was far from over. A strange spark had been ignited within Vegeta. His ultra ego had been awakened. Fueled by the pain of betrayal he felt from his beloved Bulma. The professor and Bulma, who had been monitoring the battle and gathering data, soon discovered something both extraordinary and terrifying. "We have to end this," the professor cried out, his voice laced with urgency. "He's too powerful in this new form. He'll destroy my girls." Bulma quickly took heed of his warning and traveled through a portal to the battlefield where her enraged husband stood, ready to unleash his power at any moment. As the Powerpuff Girls huddled together in terror, Vegeta prepared a finishing ki blast. But just as he was about to unleash it, Bulma stood between him and the trembling girls, her own expression one of defiance. Despite his disbelief that she had betrayed him, Vegeta could never raise a hand against his beloved wife. With a heavy heart, he powered down his attack and finally spoke out. "Bulma, why?" he demanded, his voice shaking with emotion. Bulma's response was, "I don't know what you think is going on, but you're ruining your own birthday surprise. This was supposed to be a new training area for you. The professor was helping me work on increasing the gravity and such. What did you think was going on?" As Vegeta slowly powered down to his base form, he felt a pang of regret for doubting the woman he loved. Tears now streaming down his face, he turned towards the terrified Powerpuff Girls and apologized profusely. "Bulma, can you find it in your heart to forgive me?" he implored, his voice quivering with genuine remorse. "I should have never doubted you." Despite her initial anger at the notion that her husband had believed her to be unfaithful, Bulma couldn't help but feel pity for the mighty Saiyan warrior before her, now moved to tears. In the end, she simply placed a hand on his shoulder and whispered, "Of course, Vegeta, I forgive you."
Greetings humans, Saiyans, and Namecs. Welcome back. Previously on Crawford Farms Entertainment, we had a matchup between Goten and Izuku Midoriya. If you haven't watched it, I hope that you'll take the time to check it out. You won't want to miss that one. Let's take a look at what would happen if Vegeta was to train Deku's rival, Bakugo. I found out from your comment that under most circumstances, the characters from the My Hero Academia universe are simply no match for Dragon Ball characters, but under what circumstances would they have a slither of hope? Stay tuned to find out. First, how in the world do characters from these two universes meet? On our last episode, Bakugo was annoyed when Goten enrolled at UA. He became suspicious when he saw him and Deku talking and decided to follow them after school to see where they were going and what they were up to. He watched the insane battle between the Saiyan warrior and the wielder of One For All, and witnessed the arrival of Goku and All Might. As Goku and Goten prepared to depart, Bakugo shouted out, "Hey, wait, take me with you." Goku shot him a puzzled look. Who is this guy? What's going on with his hair? And wow, those grenade thingies are really cool. It's no way I'm letting that nerd outwork me. Now, a typical adult would have denied the request without giving it a second thought, but this is Goku here. He said, "Sure, you're a bit too grumpy for me to train, but this guy Vegeta, he'll be perfect for you." As the trio arrived in Goku's universe, he told Bakugo, "Alright now, so when you see Vegeta, I want you to attack him. Go at him with everything you have. If you impress him, he might train you." After dropping Goten off at home, Goku said, "Okay, let's meet your teacher." Goku flew up and was about to depart when he noticed Bakugo still on the ground. Can't you fly?" "Can't you fly?" asked Goku, looking puzzled. "Not really," shouted Bakugo, looking kind of annoyed. Goku landed and used his instant transmission to take the duo to the intended location. Upon arriving at Vegeta's house, they found him already outside training. "Kakarot, who's this goofy-looking weakling you brought to my home? I can barely sense a power level, and why is he dressed like that?" Vegeta began to ask, but Bakugo interrupted with an explosive powered punch. "Who you calling goofy?" Vegeta remained completely unfazed by the attack, only growing more annoyed. Suddenly, Bakugo used his quirk to explode the ground beneath Vegeta, causing the Saiyan Prince to stumble slightly, further irritating him. In response, the annoyed Prince delivered a backhand strike, knocking the young warrior to the ground. Upon noticing Bakugo's immobility, Vegeta turned and yelled at Goku, "Kakarot, how dare you bring this disrespectful brat to my house?" "Well, Vegeta, I was hoping you'd train him," replied Goku. Just then, Vegeta felt a powerful blast on his back. "What the?" Vegeta's response was abruptly interrupted by a barrage of explosive attacks from Bakugo. "You can knock me down all you want, but I'll just keep getting back up. I'm gonna be the best. I'll be the strongest in the universe." Vegeta smiled and said, "Well, now this is my kind of kid, Kakarot. Get this kid a Senzu bean. We start training immediately." Impressed by the young hero's potential and relentless determination, Vegeta decided to take him under his wing, offering to train him in the ways of combat and most importantly, how to use his ki to augment his powers. "Now listen up, Bakugo. Ki is the force that allowed Krillin and Master Roshi to battle with beings like me and Kakarot, despite being mere humans." "Kakarot? Who's that? The goofy-haired simpleton?" "Stay focused. Learning to focus your ki will be a game changer for you." Bakugo's eyes lit up with curiosity and excitement. "Game changer? I'm already the best." Vegeta chuckled, crossing his arms. "Oh, you think so, huh? Well, let's see if you can keep up with the Prince of all Saiyans." With Vegeta's guidance, Bakugo began to unlock the secrets of ki manipulation. He developed his explosive quirk even further, impressing Vegeta with his progress. "Not bad, kid. You can fly now, huh? That's cute." "Cute? I'll show you cute, old man." As the training continued, Bakugo learned to fire explosive ki blasts that were no longer limited by his quirk. The battlefield lit up with brilliant displays of power. Ha! I bet Deku can't do this. Deku, is that the green-haired rival of yours? Yeah, he's always one step behind me. Reminds me of my own rival back in the day. Who was that? Bakugo asked, genuinely curious. The Simpleton, a low-level clown named Kakarot, also known as Goku. We Saiyans always have to outdo each other. Vegeta replied, a hint of nostalgia in his voice. As the days went by, Vegeta continued to introduce Bakugo to the mystical Senzu Bean. These little wonders will keep you going, even after the toughest battles. No need for rest when you've got these. Bakugo popped the Senzu Bean in his mouth, feeling the energy surge through him. This is incredible. No wonder you guys are so strong, Vegeta. Heh, you're not so bad yourself, kid, Vegeta said, hiding a proud smile. The training was grueling, pushing Bakugo to his limits. But under Vegeta's tutelage, he learned to channel his explosive quirk with precision and control. The explosive blasts were now a symphony of power and finesse. You're getting there, Bakugo, Vegeta said with an approving nod. But remember, true power comes from unlocking your inner strength. Yeah, I know. I'll be the greatest hero the world has ever seen. That's the spirit. But just remember, you'll always be second best to the Prince of all Saiyan. Bakugo's competitive nature flared up. Dream on, old man. I'll surpass you and everyone else. So, with the explosive alliance between Vegeta and Bakugo, the young hero's power soared to new heights. Together, they trained, fought, and laughed, forming a bond that transcended galaxies. With each passing day, Bakugo's potential grew, and he learned that true strength came not from his quirk, but from the fiery determination in his heart. As they continued their training, the universe braced itself for the explosion of a hero like no other. Young Bakugo was becoming frustrated and was ready to take his training to the next level. Let's spar, you loser. I'm getting bored. Vegeta couldn't help but smile. You have no idea what you're asking for, he replied with a knowing glint in his eyes. Bakugo fired an explosive ki blast at Vegeta, temporarily disorienting the Saiyan. He followed up with a punch to the face, then attempted to land another strike, but the Saiyan dodged and threw a counterpunch. This time, Bakugo swiftly evaded and performed an arm throw on Vegeta, using a rocket-powered ki blast to increase the force of the throw. Vegeta adjusted in mid-air and hovered above the ground. Is that all? He said with a smirk. Bakugo smiled back, determined not to back down. He began hovering above the ground himself, flying at Vegeta with lightning speed. His newfound ability to fly at speeds rivaling Krillin impressed Vegeta. Bakugo unleashed a barrage of lightning-fast punches and explosions, but Vegeta effortlessly dodged each attack, secretly impressed with the young hero's progress. Observing Vegeta's calm demeanor, Bakugo's competitive spirit ignited. He let out a scream as he powered up, a bright aura. Vegeta watched in amazement as Bakugo's power easily matching that of the Z-Fighter Krillin. How dare you not take me seriously? Shouted Bakugo as the battle's intensity increased tenfold. Vegeta continued to dodge with ease, maintaining a smirk as if Bakugo was nothing more than a minor annoyance. However, his nonchalant attitude was intentional. He recognized similarities between his own internal motivation and that of young Bakugo. Knowing that Bakugo's pride would push him to new limits, Vegeta decided to use that to his advantage and to push the team even further. Though Vegeta never ascended past his base form during their training, he could tell that Bakugo was now a match for any being in his own universe. He also believed that with more training, Bakugo might be able to push him in his base form. You've improved, kid, Vegeta said, a rare hint of genuine praise in his voice. But don't let that big head of yours get in the way. There's always room for growth. Got it? Bakugo nodded, a mix of determination and newfound respect in his eyes. Yeah. I'll become the best. Just watch me. And so the intense training continued, with Bakugo and Vegeta pushing each other to new heights. Their explosive alliance forged a bond that will forever change the young hero's journey as he embraced the limitless power of Ki and the unyielding spirit of a Saiyan prince. As they sparred and trained, a unique friendship blossomed, filled with rivalry, humor, and a shared dedication to becoming the strongest they could be. Bakugo's fiery determination and unwavering spirit resonated with Vegeta's own experiences, and in turn, Vegeta found a sense of fulfillment in mentoring the young hero. "That's enough training for now," said Vegeta, a smirk on his face. He playfully tapped Bakugo on the head, sending him into a temporary daze. "You still have a lot to learn, kid." As Bakugo regained his senses, he rubbed his head and scowled at Vegeta. "You're still no match for me, old man." Vegeta chuckled, crossed his arms. "Keep telling yourself that, brat. It's amusing." Before they could continue their banter, Vegeta sensed a disturbance in the energy around him. "Looks like we have company," he said, alerting Bakugo. Suddenly, Goku appeared, wearing his usual grin. "Hey guys, what's going on?" Vegeta smirked at Bakugo. "I'm leaving this explosive brat in your hands, Kakarot. Take him back to his home dimension." Bakugo scoffed. "Like I need help from the likes of you, Goku, or Kakarot, whatever your name is." Goku laughed, enjoying the bickering between the two fiery warriors. "Well, let's get you home, you grumpy little brat." In Vegeta's universe, Krillin was the most powerful being that Bakugo had a chance of matching. But now in his own universe, his powers rivaled that of One For All. The potential for even greater strength intrigued him. Later, back in his home dimension, Bakugo couldn't shake the idea of becoming even more powerful. What if Bulma, the brilliant scientist, found a way to alter his DNA and make him part Saiyan? The thought excited him, imagining the possibilities of combining the power of a Saiyan with his explosive quirk. And what if he used the Dragon Balls to make a wish for the Saiyan's ability to grow stronger with each battle? Ha! I'd be unstoppable, he thought, his competitive spirit pushing him further. As he contemplated ways to surpass the beings of the seventh universe, Bakugo's determination burned brighter than ever. "I'll become the greatest hero this world has ever seen," he declared with a fiery resolve. "Thanks for the training, Vegeta. Until next time." With that, Bakugo embarked on his path to greatness, fueled by the guidance of Vegeta and the burning desire to push his limits beyond imagination.